Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Good morning, and thank Goddess it is Thursday. Rainy, as you can hear the car whiz by. Why do I never think about closing the windows until after I push record? Oh my gosh. You guys, thank Goddess it's Thursday. I need to be with the trees. Wow, I'm really a bitch. I just want to tell you, like, this full moon, it's really helping me release so much, but it's also, I'm really seeing like where I'm triggered and annoyed by little things and maybe things that need to be healed. And just even things that aren't necessarily like even appropriate to be triggered about, like someone texting you on the regular asking how you're doing. That's annoying me. My ex-husband calling me right now, also annoying. Hold on. All right, it's 9:43 now. I don't know what time it was before. Oh gosh, everyone's having a hard time. I was like, I am so irritated this week, and my ex-husband was like, I have literally had the worst 2 weeks at work ever. So it's like, guys, if you're feeling it, know that like pretty much everyone's feeling it. At the same time, though, there is a part of me that's pretty easygoing and happy and loving life and kind of looking forward to finishing things and accomplishing things and doing things and cleaning things. And I mean, like, I get it. I just logged into Herbal Marie. The podcast hit 40,000 plays, total plays. So that's good. Good job, Herbal Marie. So anyways, but yeah, I definitely do feel like I got a few things I got to work the kinks out. And like why does it irritate me every single time my phone rings or somebody sends me a text message? Is it because the text messaging feels so 3D and keeps me tethered to a past version of myself? I just hate it. I hate messaging, and I hate having to tell people that. But like, what's worse? Being constantly annoyed with people? And then I was like, Sadie, you're annoyed with people because they ask you how you're doing? You really are a bitch. Yes. If you want to know how I'm doing, listen to my podcast. I literally pour my heart out for like 12 to 15 hours a week. Why do people feel like that they have direct access to me? I just can hardly stand it. Like, listen, honey, if I want you to know how I'm doing, I will tell you. So yeah, do you feel any of this with the full moon this week? I definitely am feeling, like I told you, there's a little bit of an ego slaughterhouse going on within me. And it really does not help sometimes to have people keeping you tethered to trivial bullshit chit chat. That to me keeps me tethered to my ego. How are you doing? You've just made me stop it dead in my tracks in my spiritual journey to give you some type of canned response. Like, this is why I think I understand why some people live in the woods and don't talk to anybody. Hey, I got a new book. That Bashar book. Well, it's not a Bashar book. It's Darryl Anka. His book that he wrote that I bought to try to even out my karma. You would love it. I mean, I'm only on like chapter 5, but there's so many trees in the book. Okay, so it's a futuristic story and like 750 years in the future or something. And so like all the families and hybrids and whatever humans, they've all like adopted like nature names. So like willow, They call her Willa. Like Willow, there's like families will be like the Ashes. Like they're all like either named after trees or plants. There's a lot of trees and plants and stuff going on in this story. So good job, Daryl. I really like that part of it. But so far, I really like it. I really do. And it's called Cryptic. And so what that means is like it's basically people who like can talk to nature. Anyways, good call on getting this book. This is going to be an enjoyable way for me to ease out my karma. Now, if I could just kind of ease out the karmic interaction that I'm creating, getting annoyed with people, I think I'd be all set. Really, that's a problem. I just want to call myself out real quick. Like anytime I'm letting myself be annoyed with people, I'm creating more annoyances in my life. So I just want to let myself know that I know this. And that, you know, like I was annoyed when the ex-husband called, right? Well, I did have an okay talk with him, pretty good, right? Relatively supportive and kind, okay? But like, why was my first response one of annoyance? That is a signal that I'm being triggered. When you're triggered, that means there's something there to heal. Obviously, if you've been my listener for the past like 290 podcasts or whatever, and you know what I've went through with him, you know that there's a ton of stuff I need to heal. Like I actually even had a moment the other night where I cried because I just let myself feel that hurt that I received when he left our bed and he rejected me and he didn't want to like work it out. And like there was a part of me that just wanted to cry and be like, oh my God, like all I wanted to do is love you. Right from the fucking moment I met him, like all I wanted to do was love him. And even at the end of our 13-year-long marriage, like there was that one weekend that I genuinely put everything aside and went at him, approached him, devoured him with unconditional love. And I literally gave him all that I had, and it still wasn't good enough. And it's like there's definitely parts of me that need to be healed. So, and on like the one hand, my judgmental bitch, my JB's like, yeah, and that's why when the phone rings, we hate him, right? Like I get it. Like she's like totally in me, like being like, yeah, and the motherfucker deserves it. Like I get that, but I'm also just saying I see that I still have a wound to finish healing with that. So that one's pretty easy to understand. Now, when my bestie is asking me how I'm doing and I'm annoyed, what's that about? I really do feel like that's just me trying to like completely slaughter my ego and detach from everyone and everything. And on some level, it is annoying that he keeps me here. That's what it is, that he keeps me here. All right, so while I was bitching and moaning there, releasing and venting, surrendering and allowing, I pulled us a tree angel, and I didn't look at it, but I'm going to look at it now and let you know that and remind myself that it is Thursday, and this podcast is not really about me on Thursdays. It's about what do the trees want to talk about. So back to that book, before I flip our tree angel over, the cryptics can talk to trees. So Daryl Anka wrote this really cool story. I mean, I feel like it's going to get a little intense for me, but maybe not, because he might be just the perfect author for me, because I like pretty much everything else he does. But anyways, so far it's been very interesting and a good story to get lost in. And anyways, the trees talk. And one part made me laugh out loud. I wish I had the book to quote it exactly. But little Willa, she's 13, and her teacher is Holly Cotton. And her teacher was like, oh, it's kind of like how I know you have a crush on Thorn. That's her boyfriend, I guess. It was supposed to be a secret. And here, the reason that Holly Cotton knew about that was because because the tree told her. And it was just funny because then Willa scorned at the tree, like, you tall tattletale, you. Like, it just was funny that, like, the way it was written made me laugh because, like, she was calling the tree a tattletale, a very tall tattletale, you know. But it's like, wow, wasn't that interesting? Like, so if something happens in the forest, you can go in there then, and the trees will tell you what happened in the forest. You know what I mean? Think about that. If you aren't already thinking about how trees are consciousness and you're able to connect with them, this story might help wake that up in you. But there's definitely more to the story than that. And there's already been one part that was kind of gross on another planet. Okay, so anyways, I'm not going to get into it right now. What I'm going to get into right now is what the trees want to talk about. And I'm excited. I'm actually feeling excited to flip over this card from the Tree Angel Oracle deck, the Ancient Path into the Sacred Grove, and see what tree angel is going to guide our discussion today. And it is Walnut. Oh, wow. It's number 2. Walnut. She is amazing. She's very interesting. Okay, so she's the tree, right? So her trunk looks like this big long skirt. And she's holding like, okay, there's like a triangle thing going on here. In her, what appears to me on the left side, she's holding like a completely, like the fruit, the walnut fruit, okay, as it is on the tree. Then on the right side of the bottom of the triangle, it's the walnut in the shell that you'd like buy at a roast. And then at the top of the pyramid, on her top of her head, is the shelled walnut. So it's like the 3 different ways to get the walnut. And the triangle feels really like significant. And also the fact that like the shelled walnut that looks like a brain that has like the 2 hemispheres, the fact that that's at the top of the triangle also feels very significant. So let's open up the book to number 2. The walnut, the oracle of the walnut says, wait and watch, listen and learn. No judgment, no action. Every coin has 2 sides. Every problem, 3 solutions. Find the path that in time will nourish all. Oh my gosh. So even like the poetry is mathematical. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like the rhyme, and you got to figure it out, like a problem solving puzzle. And that's why there's like geometry and kind of like that mathematical way of figuring something out. Wait and watch. Listen and learn. No judgment, no action. Every coin has 2 sides. Every problem, 3 solutions. Find the path that in time will nourish all. So walnut is one of the earth's ancient mothers because of the nourishment it provides. Of course, the walnut nourishes us in a material sense through its fruit, but its spiritual gift is wisdom. Coming into accord with the walnut angel strengthens our foresight, understanding, sensitivity, and ability to empathize. This creates a healthy foundation for our powers of judgment and sense of justice. With the help of walnut, we draw the right conclusions from our experiences, attaining a mature and deep understanding of life and its governing principles. Since time immemorial, The gentle power of walnut has been honored for its contribution to our spiritual development. So without the walnut, we act in a superficial, hasty, and short-sighted manner. Ignorance and coarseness gain the upper hand, which quickly leads to misunderstanding and injustice. All too often, this results in needless confrontation, quarreling, and conflict. Okay, I'm just laughing because is this not me? Without walnut, we act in a superficial, hasty, short-sighted manner. Ignorance and coarseness gain the upper hand, right? Needless confrontation, quarreling, conflict, being annoyed with phone calls and text messages. That just seems a little coarse and rude to me. I feel like walnut's coming in at the perfect time for me in my life because, yeah, like I totally need to tap into this ancient mother energy of walnut and gain the spiritual wisdom, but also strengthen my ability to empathize and increase my understanding and sensitivity. I mean, I am, quote, guilty of being all business sometimes with people personally. Like, what do you want? What do you need from me? I'll give you exactly what you need, but say what you need and then you need to go, you know? Right, like even yesterday hanging out with my friend Charity, there was a point where I was like, was there anything else that you needed? Okay, before you leave, like I am a giver, but I also like sometimes just know that it's part of my job and I don't necessarily feel that connection with them or empathy or sensitivity. Like I'm a good mother, but like sometimes I'm super detached. Not with my kids, but like with other people. Sometimes with my kids too, probably. Like, I got to really think about this. But anyways, we've got walnut coming in. We've got walnut telling us to wait and watch, listen and learn. Don't be judging. Don't take action. Just always realize that every situation has two sides. What happened to my dialect? Every situation has two sides, just like a coin has two sides. And bonus, every problem has three solutions. Always. There's always a way to fix every single problem in at least 3 different ways, right? So find the path that in time will nourish all, right? Take care of everybody. Draw the right conclusions from our experience. Mature your ass up already and gain a deep understanding of life and its governing principles. So yeah, and I just actually nibbled on a walnut this morning because I'm trying to eat up some of the nuts that we have before we buy more. And I had a little bit of chocolate chips and I was like, oh, wow, you'd be good with some walnuts. But yeah, so when we don't tap into this energy of walnut, we do start getting a little hasty, a little short-sighted, a little superficial, a little ignorant, a little coarseness. We get misunderstandings that should lead to confrontation that didn't need to happen if we would have just taken the advice of walnut, which was to be quiet and watch and listen and wait and learn and don't be judgmental and wait until you actually know what's going on before you take action. So anyways, she's kind of coming in like saying, I felt like conflict a lot of most of the times is unnecessary. I think that walnut's coming in with a solid message of prevention. All right, I just went and ate some more walnuts. Which basically all the food I've eaten today have let me know that one tooth that dentist initially worked on is still pissed. Oh my gosh, I'm having so many issues leading up to our dental cleaning checkup appointment. What is up with that? What happened to me in a past life? What happened in Orion with my teeth? Good Lord. What happened in Atlantis with my teeth? So we can't blame everything on Atlantis, but seriously, what happened? So I love that walnut is so mothering, because that is our herb of the week, motherwort. We'll do our affirmations here in a little bit. But you know, think about motherwort. She's very nourishing, but at the same time, she'll snap the bitch right out of you with her bitterness. Walnuts, they're not too bitter. However, if you soak them in water, they're even less bitter. You know, she is pretty sweet. Definitely walnuts, a very kind and gentle energy. And I do love the reminder. What a good reminder. She did it in such a nice way, didn't she? Like, she's like, listen, every problem has 3 solutions, and a lot of this stuff can be totally avoided if you would just tap into the wisdom and give yourself that wait time. You know, wait and watch, listen and learn. I mean, don't take action until you really know that's what you want to do, and that's the path that will nourish everyone, take care of everybody. Oh, see, she does remind us. It's like she kind of calls us out, but yet it's so gentle we didn't even get offended at all. But yeah, I mean, are we doing what's best for everyone, for all? Because it's like, I have to remind myself, okay, so I'm totally immersed in my ego if I'm seeing myself separate from anyone else, or I'm seeing someone else annoying me. There is no separation. That person is me. I'm annoying myself. But it's like our egos want us to see separation all the time, you know, like I'm you, or no, I'm me and you're you. But really, like, that's just ego. And we should be like looking out for everyone like they are ourselves, because they are. We're all in this together. There really is only one energy, right? Only one source, one God. And it's like, don't you want to take care of everybody because everybody is actually you? See, it's the ego that makes me think that I'm separate, and it's your ego that sees yourself as separate and not connected. And then, like, that's what actually really goes wrong, like, in the world. We don't take care of each other because we think that we're separate, when in fact we're not separate. We're connected beyond our human understanding. All right, so on that note, I'm gonna grab the soul trees, and I'm gonna put some archangel sigils around Walnut, and I'm gonna pull a few cards to go underneath her of maybe some things, some topics that I wanted to say we want to bury. I don't know why I wanted to say we want to bury, but like we want to maybe bury or rise above, right? She was talking about foresight and, you know, using our wisdom, and kind of like when you look at geometry, it's like you want to kind of have a good view of it so you can see maybe like the patterns or where the lines are going. If you're looking for solutions, you know, it's like you take a step back and see all your notes that you've posted on the wall. You know how like sometimes you see in movie like you're tracking somebody and then you like put all your notes and hints and clues on the wall, and before you know it you have a big red line of string where you found the solution. So anyways, the first card that comes out off the bottom is a reversed risk, and on top is a reversed integration. So I feel like she's saying with this, like, what are you afraid of? Integrating everyone in your life, taking responsibility for the whole world, but seeing everybody like as one, right? So it's like we want to rise above, like we feel like we're at risk if we take care of each other or think about other people other than ourselves. So we got risk reversed and integration reversed. I'm going to look in her guidebook and just see if she has these. Risk. Nope, she didn't put risk in this guidebook. so funny. The ones I always want to see what she means a little bit more are hardly ever in the guidebook. Integration says combine the physical, emotional, and spiritual to create wholeness and balance. So just like Walnut was saying, there's 3 solutions to every problem. Integration talks about 3 things: physical, emotional, spiritual, right? 3 solutions to every problem to create wholeness and balance. So it's like when you're looking at the things in your life, maybe take a look at it from the physical, but then also from the emotional, and then from the spiritual. It's like surround every issue and circumstance, question, problem, or just event, surround it in a triangle and look at it from your 3 different viewpoints. Look at it from your physical viewpoint, look at it from your emotional viewpoint, and look at it from your spiritual viewpoint before you do anything. Ooh, and that really would take the risk of unnecessary confrontation out of your probabilities in a lot of ways, because you would be taking the time to learn, watch, wait, and just then be able to see clearly. I love that we're working with the number 3, when you've taken the time to look at it in 3 different ways and then integrate all that information. So it's not like you have to decide, well, wait, am I going to believe my emotional perspective, my spiritual perspective, or my physical perspective? You don't have to choose. You can integrate them all and get a combined, holistic, integrated perspective. And then that's how you want to take charge of your life. That's how you want to view the world and make your decisions from that very expanded viewpoint, because it's like you've got the 3 different directions of the triangles all chiming in, working together. Okay, so do you want to bring anything else in, Walnut, from this deck? I was thinking 2 more. What do you think? She's like, why not 3? You're right. Why not 3? Okay, so the 3rd card, I'll just rearrange everything to look nicer now. The 3rd card is an upright create. Right, that's what she's saying. So we want to create from this place of, it's like, hold on, I gotta get a drink. There's walnut stuck in the back of my throat. Oh, the irony and funniness. Okay. So yeah, walnuts all through my throat. Create from this place, and she says, create from this place of integration and take away the risk. Take away the risk of unnecessary confrontation, because you've taken the time to actually analyze the situation, like mathematically, kind of, you know what I mean? Or just, I want to say like systematically or thoroughly, just maybe thorough is the word, you know? It's like you've taken the time to look at it from many different angles, so you're really solid, like in your inner knowing, and that's a good place to create from. That could be a new beginning for you. And then actually that wisdom would definitely lead to some inner power as well, because, you know, you're taking the time to feel solid about it, to just really like be certain that you understand what's going on within you. Ooh, so very interesting. I want to do this in my own life, absolutely. You know, so then when people text me and ask me how I'm doing, I don't quickly respond with, listen. Just assume I'm doing gloriously magnificent unless you hear otherwise. Although that is a valid point. Why would I think that's annoying too. Like just assume I'm doing good unless you hear differently. you know, how am I doing? I don't know. Why does this annoy me so much? Really something for me to think about. So, and I need to look at it from a spiritual direction, an emotional direction, and a physical direction, and maybe really figure out like why that's getting under my skin so much. Interesting. All right, we're going to go into the wisdom of the trees now and just see if we can get any more clarification coming in from the walnut. I have two coming off from the bottom. We've got Montezuma cypress and white mulberry. So I'm going to put these to the left and right of the walnut, and just kind of understand a little bit more that maybe walnut's bringing in some inner messages. So anyways, back to that book just for a second, The Cryptic by Darryl Anka. It really was so fun to see like him talking about yew trees, or just how he described the landscapes, and I don't know. It's good to find a book that jives with me, especially because I don't read fiction very often. And I feel like this is, like, of course, because I'm a weirdo, I feel like it's fiction, but it also might not be fiction. This is why I don't read fiction, because I believe everything I read. All right, so Montezuma cypress has that little Aztec dude, like, carved into the trunk. If you'll see a picture of this on Herb Oracle Instagram. But we've gotten him before, and we've definitely got the white mulberry. That's the picture where someone's weaving a tapestry with a yin-yang, a black and white yin-yang on it. So we've definitely got that too. So that's on the side of the risk. And over here on the side of create is Montezuma cypress with solidity, Sadie. I grow at the meeting point between land and water. This is the cypress Deva coming in. And I teach you that you need a balance between the material and spiritual worlds to survive. I am solid and strong, and I can give you that same sense of solidity. Or, if you're from Western Pennsylvania, solidity. Itty? I feel like I should go back to bed in a lot of ways today. So, this is a swamp cypress. It also grows near lakes and rivers on the margins. And the oldest members of this species are now growing in arid conditions. So suggesting that at one point the land was very wet and now it's dry. So that's kind of interesting to think how the earth has changed. And back to the book, The Cryptic, the earth really does change in this book in 750 years, because the polar caps melted and a lot of humans left to go to other planets and go exploring and stuff. It's a very interesting book. But anyways, the Aztecs used this tree, the resin, to treat gout and skin conditions, and a decoction of its bark was drunk as a diuretic. But today it's coming in, I feel, like how the walnut has her hands out left and right. She definitely has a message of balance. And so does the cypress. And actually, so does the mulberry with the yin and yang. So we are definitely getting a message of balance from walnut. I almost wanted to say from Walmart. From walnut. And we need that balance between the material and the spiritual. I like that. So the Montezuma cypress says, are you feeling bogged down by worries and difficulties? Yes, I am totally feeling bogged down. I'm exhausted. I've exhausted myself of thinking of this stupid annoyance. I've exhausted myself of thinking of the dentist and the impending confrontation that might be waiting for me, and the fact that I probably need to find a dentist that I actually feel like I trust and not this money hungry bitch. Really. So I feel definitely bogged down by worries and difficulties. And I get that probably they're unnecessary in a lot of ways if I could just gain the perspective needed. All right, so Montezuma, anyways, this swamp cypress says to learn to focus your attention. Learn to focus your attention on whatever is most important to you or to the situation. And don't dilute your power by concentrating on trivial matters. So in the grand scheme of things, an annoying text message and a dental cleaning trip is probably pretty trivial, right? And I was thinking that last night when I was reading the cryptic, and there's a couple different sections of the book, like, you know, different characters and plot scenes and stuff. And this one is a ship, the Legion. They would like someday to, you know, take back their planet, and, you know, that was overtaken by them, by dark aliens. But anyways, and I remember last night having a moment where I was like, oh man, I think I have problems in my life. Like, honey, like, your problems are pretty tiny compared with, like, always running for your life and having to sneak in and do covert operations and missions, and do you know what I mean? Like, really, honey, like, you just have to, like, go get your teeth cleaned. That's it. Like, all you have to do is figure out if you want to return a text message. That's it. Okay. Like, in the grand scheme of things, you are worrying about trivial matters. You're letting trivial, stupid shit take away your power. So I'm happy to be called out. And I hope you are too, because if you're, like, feeding in to a negativity, you've become addicted to thinking about something trivial. Admit it. In the grand scheme of things, it's trivial. Well, here's your memo. You're losing your power unnecessarily. You're giving away your power when you are focusing on things that truly are not that important. There are better things, more important things for you to focus on. Okay, so the swamp cypress says current dilemmas won't be solved until you are able to stand firm and know your own mind. Continually changing your plans or keeping your options open for fear of making the wrong decision will only confuse you further. So that's why we have that reversed risk. Because it's like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. I'll just keep all my options open and keep me in indecisive land, and I'll just stay over here in this shade of gray and not really know myself or what I want or what I'm going to do, and I'll just, you know, change plans. And should I go left or should I go right? Should I go left or should I go right? Should I do this or should I do that? Should I do this or should I do that? When we go back and forth like that, we just get more confused. Like, really, should I stay at this dentist? Should I go to a different dentist? Should I stay at this one? Should I go? Okay, we don't know if we're coming or going then at this point with anything. We are literally spinning ourselves around in our own minds, and we are confusing ourselves unnecessarily. Truly. So it's saying is, listen, nothing's going to get fixed until you know your own mind. So that's why I keep, like, saying, like, well, I want to understand why this triggers me so I can, you know, understand my mind and know myself. But at some point, I do have to be like, well, listen, you're just making things worse for yourself, and taking away your power. So just make a decision and then line up with it. That's what my grandpa used to say. Make a decision and stick with it. Like, just decide and then don't change your mind again. All right, so over to that white mulberry. White mulberry has a message of harmony. She says, I will send you spiritual and emotional nourishment. This will guide you into creating a stronger and more harmonious connection with others and enrich your understanding of their motives as well as your own. So that's interesting to me because, you know, the integration said we have emotional, spiritual, and physical to integrate. Well, Mulberry is saying, I will send you spiritual and emotional nourishment, which tells me that we are identifying way too much with the physical, or we're only seeing the problem from the perspective of the physical, or we're only able to see with the physical eyes. So that's why the white mulberry is going to send spiritual and emotional nourishment so that we can build that up and be able to integrate all three in that trine, in that triangle, so that we can enrich our understanding of ourselves and of others, knowing everyone's intentions and motivations, and then maybe thus increasing our understanding and empathy and compassion and all that good shit. So, some Chinese traditions believe that the mulberry is the world tree or the tree of renewal. This unites the dead who dwell in the 9 sources with the 9 heavens. The tree, therefore, represents the Tao, or the fundamental nature of the universe. A sacred grove of mulberry trees was always planted outside China's ancient royal capital cities. The white mulberry is used extensively in traditional Chinese medicine to cleanse the liver and to send qi, or energy, flowing smoothly through the meridians. So the white mulberry comes in to the left of walnut to say to us to find the connections between you and the people and the animals with whom you share your life. Do your best to create harmony with them and to empathize with them, even when their behavior perplexes you. So that's funny because, like, even as, like, my best friend is, like, annoying me with these "how are you feeling" messages, then his dog that I have has been annoying me this week. Mainly because he's peeing on the bush right by the porch that I don't want him to pee on, and I can smell dog piss. Like, as if my life doesn't stink enough when I go out on the porch now, all I can smell is dog piss. So I'm like, dude, like, we got a whole acre. Go back, you know? And what's really funny is Zen is very, like, intuitive, empathetic, caring, overly loving, wants to be there for you, like, wants attention, wants to connect. And isn't that funny that, like, that's, like, kind of also, like, what, you know, Asiel, all he's doing is asking me how I'm doing, asking how I'm feeling. His intentions are to connect with me and keep track with me and know how I'm doing. But why does that trigger me? Why is it even, you know, like, I have to, like, understand, like, what, like, it's just funny that they're both annoying me, but it's like, why does someone being in my business trigger me? Because I don't think it's like, I don't think I'm annoyed with people caring about me or wanting to know how I'm doing, but is it a boundary thing? Is it like, I'll tell you if I want you to know thing, or like, what's up with that? Or maybe is it because I'm just not in the mood to let anyone into my inner circle, because I'm just supposed to be in a cycle of aloneness right now, like, right? Like being rejected and divorced and hurt and betrayed in some ways and let down and disappointed. Like, I don't feel like letting anyone into my sacred space right now. And so I guess maybe that's what's going on with me personally. It's nothing like towards him per se, but it's just where I'm at right now. Interesting. But Mulberry is saying, listen, do your best to create harmony and empathize with them. Okay, find connections between you and the people and the animals with who you share your life. So yeah, I do have that challenge all the time because like I got to clean rabbit cages again today, and I'm just like, I am just so full moon, so annoyed. It's just really like, wow, I'm gonna go take my B vitamins. All right, so anyways, that's what Mulberry has to say. So everybody needs to be self-sufficient in the regards that it really is our responsibility to understand why we tick the way we talk. You know what I mean? And understand what's going on inside of us. And then with that understanding, find the solutions. To every problem, there are 3 solutions. To every circumstance, do the integration of the 3 aspects of you: emotional, spiritual, yes, and the physical. And so if you have been to, only looking at things from the physical, see what other parts of you are thinking too. So really the only card that I feel like we didn't quite pay too much attention to on the table right now is the create tree, right? Is the create tree. So, and that's kind of like going up into the walnut from the bottom diagonal. And I guess it's just supposed to kind of be in the background. Okay, that's interesting. The color of the create tree is the color a little bit of the distant background in walnut. So I guess that's the message. In the distant, in the background, yes, understand that in every moment we are creating. We are summoning, we are asking, we are intending, we are manifesting, whether we are doing so deliberately and consciously or without awareness. We're always creating. So it's like if you do your integration work and you take the time to gain that trifold, perspective, that triangle perspective, you can create much, much differently. But just know that you are always creating. And if you feel like maybe you're a little bit out of control right now and you're limited in your perspective, you will be creating unnecessary confrontation, unnecessary drama that could have been avoided had you have just done your balancing work, had you have just been like the swamp cypress, have 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water, kind of be able to balance between the 2 worlds or 3 worlds, however you're looking at it. Do that integration work. It will take away the risk and make creating that much more enjoyable. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our embracing herb of the week, motherworts, and I lovingly dedicate them all to you. Thank you so much for your support. I am nurturing. My courage allows me to open my heart. I am fertile. I birth new creations into my life. With calmness and strength, I welcome the never-ending initiation of mothering. I am nurturing. My courage allows me to open my heart. I am fertile. I birth new creations into my life. With calmness and strength, I welcome the never-ending initiation of mothering. And so it is. right. Well, thank you to Walmart. Walmart. See, walnut. Thank you to the Walmart tree. I knew I was going to do that. Walmart tree for coming in to be nurturing to us and remind us of several very, very important things. All right, so let me get out the Celtic Tree Oracle. I forgot I put these three sticks of selenite and some type of, it looks almost like it's not lapis lazuli, I don't think. It almost looks like a blue snowflake type of stone. I don't know, maybe that is lapis lazuli. Who knows? I put a freaking stone in here. Which is very pretty. I'm gonna put all these out on the table. Okay, I'm gonna put this I'm gonna put the one that I don't know if it's a lapis lazuli or what above the create, and I'm gonna put these selenite sticks. I should shove these up my ass. I'm such a grumpy bear. My gosh. Oh, that was the other thing that cracked me up with this story last night. So one of the humans said like, oh, she always seems like she has a stick up her butt. And one of the hybrids was like, you humans have the most interesting or graphic ways of describing things. And yeah, I just was like, yeah, the selenite, shove it up your ass. Okay, so anyways, that's humanness for you. Now, what's interesting is, to me, I forgot that I put those in there. Okay, but that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is there are 3 selenites, and we have been talking about triangles, the 3 things to integrate your spiritual, your emotional, your physical, then we have this beautiful blue and white stone too, which is underneath the Montezuma cypress, which has a blue border, and above the Create tree, which has a lot of blues. But the 2 colors, there's white and blue in this stone, and they're coming together. So I definitely see like walnut has a message like, yeah, come together. Choose the path that nourishes all of you, all of everybody, all that is. So I shuffled the Celtic Tree Oracle so we could end with a card from that deck, and we got Silver Fir and Pine, number 16, reversed. So I have the Silver Fir and Pine at the top of our spread now, reversed. And we've got the 3 pieces of selenite laid out in a perfect way that, yes, we could make a triangle with them. So there is definite triangle energy, balancing energy, integrative energy. But yeah, I mean, what's it boil down to? Reducing the risk and increasing the create, right? Reduce your risk so you can create what you want. Like, I'm sorry if you get bored with this message because we get it again and again and again and again. But that's what life is. You came here to create. And yeah, heal and work your agenda and whatnot. But the point of everything is that you are a creator and you can create. What are you creating? So my friend Charity visited yesterday, and we had a moment in our conversation where I showed her the listing of my friend's house to show her how magnificent it is. And I said, I feel so blessed to be able to have this example in my life that basically calls me out, but asks me and calls me out and yells at me all the time. You can create better. Why are you not creating better? Why do you settle for shit? Like, you should be creating better. You know better. There's a part of me that's very frustrated because on some level, I do know better. On some level, I should be creating better. I look up and see 441, my birth time. Yeah, I was born to create. So it is very frustrating to me when I focus on trivial matters that take away my power and distract me from what I could truly be creating. So there is definitely a message of integrating that. Walnut says, and you can do that. You can fix this in a loving way in at least 3 different ways. There are more solutions than problems, especially to this petty, trivial shit. But also, it's like, okay, now you got to start doing better. You really do, at least within yourself, at least within how you're feeling and looking at things and taking things in and creating. So on that note, let me see what number 16 reversed is all about. I feel like we've definitely gotten fir, silver fir and pine. The totems are eagle and owl, and the deities and guides are the Great Mother in her many forms. So we really have been blessed with the Mother this week. I was even trying to share a story with Charity yesterday, how I was pushed into this video on YouTube. Like my finger slipped and hit a video that I would have never picked on my own. And it was the most magnificent story of Mother Mary, the Marys, the 3 Marys. Oh my God, now I'm gonna lose my shit. The 3 Marys. Here's the number 3 again. I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say it's Lar, Lar. He's like an old dude with white hair. But he had this incredible Mary. He has this incredible Mary story, and I loved it so much. And it was just the perfect thing for me to hear. And it's just really been the perfect mothering week with motherwort, now with walnut, and now with silver fir and pine, who's coming in with the Great Mother in her many forms. And that's, the one thing about the Mary, it's not just Mother Mary. Jesus had Sister Mary, Mother Mary, and lover, Mary Magdalene Mary. And so the mother energy, the Mary energy, the Great Mother energy comes in many, many forms. And in every culture, too. It's like, call some of these deities what you want. It's the same Mother Mary energy. It's the Mary energy, the Great Mother. So anyways, and that's what I feel coming into from walnut, and that's what we've been feeling all week with motherwort, and then we did a tarot with mothering. It's been a big old mothering week, hasn't it? So the key words with this card is foresight, which isn't that exactly what walnut was talking about, right? Foresight. It's like sometimes it's like if you don't get the message, you are blind. Because Walmart literally said, Walnut, Sadie, knock it off. Walnut literally said, how many times have I said Walmart when I wanted to say walnut? Oh my gosh, I really actually am ready to do a pickup. But I'm trying to wait till next week. Can we just eat up some of the stuff that's here first? But anyways, walnut said, coming into accord with the walnut angel strengthens our foresight, understanding, sensitivity, and ability to empathize. So that's how we started this. And now we're ending this with silver, fir, and pine with the keywords foresight, higher perspective, inner vision, the higher self, higher dimensions, unseen realm, clear vision, progress, and insight. So that's another thing. I really feel like I'm at the point in my life where I do just need to give my ego over to my higher self and let divine will take charge. And maybe that's a little bit of part of my struggle too. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do that, yet things are trying to keep me here, keep my ego always activated, right? How are you doing? Well, that is a fucking question for the ego, right? So it's part of me is rebelling against people keeping me set in these social standards, let me go and just be weird and quit checking in. So I have that coming up. But it's also, I have to understand why. And I have to then cast it all aside as trivial matters and step into my higher perspective, step into my inner vision, the higher self, the higher dimensions, and then with that clear vision, gain the insight and make progress and be able to create. So the silver fir and pine does represent clear sightedness. She helps us see the big picture. We are encouraged, and that's why she's at the top too. That's so fabulous. She wants us to be encouraged by her, to learn from our past mistakes and make new choices based on higher perspective. She asks us to take the longer view. This tree offers us a spiritual infusion of understanding and brings us insight and expanded awareness. Fir holds the love of the great goddess. She can heal and support us through any situation. The wisdom of this tree encourages us to take the high road and to apply the words and ways of spirit. This tree is especially helpful as we make resolutions of any kind and speaks to the turning of the wheel after the winter solstice. But we did get it reversed. And here is her reversed message for us. She says, you are currently unable to see the forest for the trees. You need to get some distance from your situation or problem, or you will not be able to move towards clarity. Take time away from your problems to gain perspective. Look up towards the light, not down at the ground. Seek the advice of some sage person in your life. Look to your dreams as well as to synchronicities in your waking life, as these may offer guidance. Spend time looking at mistakes made and resolve to learn from those mistakes. Put arrogance aside and be willing to dismantle misplaced ego. Choose humility. So I don't know about you, but I'm resonating over here. Holy God. She also says, remember, it's not all on you to solve the problems of the world. You cannot do it alone. You need community, friends, family, and others devoted to healing. If you are alone in your difficulties and cut off from others, are you willing to reach out and take a risk of receiving help? So we did get the risk card reversed, and this is saying, are you willing to reach out and take a risk of receiving help? And so yeah, that pretty much shows me up in my face personally. When people try to connect with me, I see that as a risk. Why do I associate risk and receiving help? Well, because I've been abandoned 100 damn times in my life. And I'm tired of humans, right? Even though I love you, I'm tired of you. So what an interesting layout and message from the trees today. It's funny that I was like, okay, y'all, let's talk to the trees. This isn't about me. But this whole thing has been totally about me, 100%. And I thank you, Walnut. And I thank you, Silver Fir and Pine and Swamp Cypress and White Mulberry. Because I was getting smothered thinking about this and bogged down and overwhelmed. And why do I waste my time with this trivial shit? I get it that it's showing me where I need to heal, but it's still annoying to me that I give it so much play in my head. And I think that's what annoys me then even more. Like, I'm not even annoyed with a text message as much as I'm annoyed with the 3 hours of thinking about it that it made me do. Do you know what I mean? So it's like almost just like, fine, just respond to the text message and not let yourself be annoyed. Is that so hard? Walnut has her hands out to the side, like almost in a shoulder shrug now at this point for me. Like, how hard would that be? Just reply back and then forget about it. Why are you letting yourself be annoyed with trivial stuff? Your inability to integrate this is almost embarrassing, right? That's like one time the Arcturians, that's not quite what they said, but it was in that ballpark, and it is still to this day so funny to me. They said, the Arcturian 9D Council, channeled by Daniel Scranton, said, like, we're not, they said, like, basically, like, we're not judging you. We're just observing you, but it's very curious to us when we see you struggling and having a difficult time. Like, this really is interesting to us because we know who you actually are. And so what they were saying was, it just like really surprises us that you're even having a hard time with that, because we know who you actually truly are. And we're just surprised. And so, like, I get that, because it's like, on some level, I really know who I am too. And that's why it's like, why are you struggling with this little teeny weeny thing? Like, why are you struggling with the dentist? For the love of God, do you have any idea of what you've done in your incarnations and who you truly are and how great of a being you are? When you wake up from this dream called life, you're going to have a really good laugh. Really. And it might perplex you for a little bit why this was such a struggle at times. But I guess that's just part of the game of life. Nonetheless, I'm ready for an attunement. How about you? All right, so let's end here with the Silver Fir and Pine, who was just asking us if we would be willing to reach out and take a risk of receiving help. That would be a good risk. Are you willing? I am the stately silver fir or pine. See how I sit on a tall mountain and look out over beautiful valleys and hills? See how I grow towards the heavens and stand tall. I encourage you to take a look at your life from the top of my branches. Here you can see the past, yes, but you can also look ahead to the future. In the future, you may see many choices. Which one attracts you? Imagine yourself having made that future choice. What are you doing? What do you love? Who are you with? Now look back at yourself at the top of the tree. Allow your future self to speak. Allow your future self to speak. What does it have to say to you? Allow the wisdom from your future self to dream you and reawaken you. Let your future self inform you as you make new choices and new resolutions, which in turn will move you towards the future that pleases you. Ooh, so I do love it when Pine comes in and reminds us that, you know what, here in the physical, we're just like too caught up like in what's happening right now. And, you know, we sometimes will go back and look at the past and reflect, but how often do we give ourselves permission to connect with our future self and ask for that perspective to integrate in? And so that's why we got the Create tree, because we do want to start creating better. we do want to start integrating better, understanding better, looking at things from a higher perspective, and then know when and where to take that risk, know when and what we want to manifest, and who to manifest with. So find your balance, go within, look at things from all sides, understand there's always at least 3 solutions to every problem. If you can't figure it out in your now moment and from your past self, so but God forbid, just go ahead and jump into your future self and guide yourself from yourself. Your future self is you, and you do have access to her or him. So anyways, that's the message from the trees and our tree guides today. Take it or leave it. Many thanks to silver fir, pine, white mulberry, Montezuma, swamp cypress, and walnut. Dang. Thank you. That was good. I might have to go back to bed to finish integrating this. But I really, truly appreciate your insight. Thank you.